But on this track, Kendrick wasn't focused on the beef at all. He was speaking on where the rap game was heading, the culture, and the music industry as a whole. How everything started feeling hollow, material, surface level, and how the energy around music was quietly fading away. And about 13 months later, the numbers reflected it. Like we spoke about a few weeks ago, rap completely fell out of the Billboard Top 40 for the first time in 35 years.
She know, oh they know, oh he know word is mine. Okay, she know, like they know, oh he know word is mine. Okay, like they know, and she know, and we know the word mine. So I'm just in my prime.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Kendrick was right. The party is dying. Video by Blackie Speaks. Let's get right into it, man.
Now these last few months, something about life just feels different. People seem more disconnected, more distracted, more tired, almost drained in a way that's hard to describe in one sentence. And everyone I've spoken to personally tells me they feel it as well. You see it everywhere, even in entertainment. Music doesn't hit the same because people don't feel the same. Modern movies don't last like they used to. Nothing sticks.
1000%.
And honestly,
I think this is like one of the first points in times ever in human existence that I have an understanding of where people were on the same collective experience. I think we're all going through some sort of small form of depression, small form of lack of identity, not knowing exactly who we are, what we want to be, or what we want to do. And it's because we're losing the foundations of what we thought the world was around us. We're realizing that none of the stuff that was told to us, given to us, was true. And all the things they said were obtainable are no longer obtainable. So, yeah, man.
Even friendships feel different too. Like friends aren't really
That's a fact.
friendening like before. The question,
I know there's one thing for me personally. It seems like I'm making it a mission this year to reach out to all the friends that I personally didn't reach out to last year or the year before or recently. Just knowing that either I got so busy or they got busy. I even have friends now that have whole families. So a lot of time has passed, but it's always up to the both of you to really rekindle that relationship and make sure that you go out of your way to spend more time together as adults. So that's what I'm gonna try to do this year, and I encourage y'all to do the same, because you really need community. With everything going on right now in the world, you need community. You need like-minded people that'll be in your corner, in your circle, support your dreams, your goals. You know what I'm saying? All of that.
I've been asking myself is, what exactly changed these last few years? Is this just a sign of the times, or is it exactly what Kendrick Lamar was pointing out? The shift happening right now in our culture. On September 11th, 2024, Kendrick Lamar dropped a song.
Bro, that is what the song was about.
At first, people propped it up as another response to the explosive rap beef.
Yep. They thought it was a diss track back to Drake.
Those people who didn't really listen still think that's what it was about. But on this track, Kendrick wasn't focused on the beef at all. He was speaking on where the rap game was heading, the culture, and the music industry as a whole. How everything started feeling hollow, material, surface level, and how the energy around music was quietly fading away. And about 13 months later, the numbers reflected it. Like we spoke about a few weeks ago, rap completely fell out of the Billboard Top 40 for the first time in 35 years. And the wild part is the last song still holding on before that drop-off was Kendrick's own record with SZA. It's called Luther. That song had an incredible 13-week run at number 1, and it stayed on the chart for almost
that song is goated.
Full year. But when it finally slipped below the top 40, rap disappeared from the list entirely.
The original song by Luther, wait, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, so Luther Vandross, I remember so like the Luther Vandross version is probably my favorite version. I know Cheryl is the original version as well.
If you think about it, it was kind of symbolic because the same artists who have been
Kendrick and SZA
disconnect
snapped
happening
on that
within the
song.
culture ended up being
It was
the
a
final
beautiful
one holding that
rendition of
spot
both of
before
those.
everything shifted. It wasn't just a chart moment. It was the confirmation of what he already predicted was coming. And that's where the rap side of this conversation becomes an entry point into something bigger, because Drake and Kendrick represent two completely different sides of the spectrum. On one hand, Drake to a lot of people embodies the flashy, material, surface level side of rap and society. The lifestyle, the aesthetics, the luxury. That's the version of him people focus on the most. But the truth is, of course, Drake does have depth. He's actually one of the most emotionally introspective artists of our generation.
No,
It's just that
absolutely.
the parts of him people choose to celebrate the most aren't the parts with the most substance. Meanwhile,
But that's I feel like that's how he wanted it. That's how he put himself out. You know what I mean? That's how he put himself out there. Like he has all these different personas that he uses that, you know what I'm saying, we've changed along the years with him. And if that's how he wants us to
Kendrick,
see
to a
him,
lot
then
of
that's how
people,
we're going to see him.
represents the
You know what I mean?
opposite,
It's
the
confusing.
introspective, spiritually heavy, socially aware lane of rap.
Because I remember he went out his way to make sure people thought that he was like a hard rapper and that, you know what I mean? I remember it was like a shift after like a year period of time. It went from like Take Care and then now she want a photo. You don't really know though. You only live once. That's the motto. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just like around that time.
That's always been there.
The gangster
It doesn't
lifestyle
get the
he was
same
trying to like
spotlight. And this isn't about comparing both of these artists because they're both great in their own way, and it's not really about the
Absolutely.
issues they had in the past. It's bigger than that. It's the duality between them that says something about the moment we're currently in. Two artists at the top of the same genre, but representing two completely different energies. And the reason why their duality matters is because it reflects a split we're seeing everywhere, not just in culture, but in the way things are moving right now. On one side is noise, constant stimulation, trends, distractions, the pressure to always be on. The other side is depth, slowing down, protecting your peace, trying to stay grounded and real. And if you
Absolutely. It's a reset right now. And this is what I've been really talking about a lot of my friends. It's just like, that's been the broader conversation. In all of our lives, it seems like 2026, it was almost like a reset button. As soon as the clock hit 12 and we realize we don't want to go into this new year with the same perspective, the same mindset. And so that's why I'm making it a personal goal to reach out to my friends, making it a personal goal to be better in every aspect of my life. It's also, you know, build a better relationship with God, because I think losing sight of him will have you looking at all the materialistic things and all the distractions and negativity in the world, and thinking that it is, it is happening. I'm not going to say it's not happening, but there's so much more to life than just that. And the only thing they're going to perpetuate on the media and in social media is negativity, because that's what drives clicks. That's what drives engagement. That's what gets the most views. So just watch out for that, man. Y'all got to really protect your peace.
look around, most people are getting pulled.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to see the content that comes out this year. Personally, for me, this isn't the only content y'all gonna get, for real, for real. If y'all are seeing this video specific and not any of my other reaction videos, this is a slight teaser to how much more y'all are gonna get. This, what I'm doing right here, right now with these reaction videos, is just a test. It's just to really see. Was like the lowest barrier to entry thing for me to do, to test out my computer, to test out the process, to test out editing, to test out the thumbnail creation process, and to just do it. Because I remember one night I sat down and I was like, all right, I gotta have this in place. I gotta have this in place before I even post my first video. And I was slacking for weeks. Like a month had gone by and I had already said I was gonna make my own video. And I finally just one day was like, nah, bro, I gotta sit here and just do it. Like, regardless of what the outcome is gonna be, regardless of what happens, I gotta just do it. And now I'm here making this video right now, you know what I'm saying? And I've only improved every single day during this process to become better, you know, just learning from other people. And again, this is not gonna be the only content that I put out there. I'm excited to put out so much more creative stuff. I got some skits down the pipeline that I wanna start to put together. Some introspective essays on my essay channel, where I essentially I write essays and then I'll convert them into a video essay, to where I'll compile like some stock footage just to make it a little bit more entertaining, so you're not just listening to me yap. And then of course gaming, man. Of course the gaming channel. Gaming is always something that I've been passionate about. So when I'm not working and I'm not busy doing stuff that actually propel me in my life, whenever I do have free time, I'm gonna hop on the game with my boys. So streaming is something I'm also going to do, because it just makes more sense to stream it and then just save the VOD for all the other content that you want to create. But yeah, man, I'm excited for what's to come. This year is going to be absolutely amazing. And this shift that's coming, I want you guys to take heed to it. Really notice what's going on, and realize you gotta pull yourself out of social media for a little bit, at least for the beginning of this year, just so you can get a clear mind and you can focus on exactly what you need to focus on.
Noise. Not because they choose it, but because it's the easiest thing to fall into. It's everywhere and it's loud. And when you zoom out, it makes a lot of sense. We're living in a time of extreme abundance, endless content, endless opinions, endless stimulation. Everything is loud, constant, and spiritually draining. And Kendrick actually said this directly in the song. He has a line where he goes, "They wonder why I'm not enthused to drop. The more visible you get, the more your spiritual is tried." And a lot of us have seen the price that comes with being seen in this digital age. It's like if you don't post, you don't exist. If you're not constantly showing up online, people forget about you even faster. The more exposure you have, the more you're on people's minds. But the real question is, what are we giving up in exchange for that visibility? Because every time we post, every time we share, every time we try to stay relevant, the algorithm takes a piece of us. Not literally, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It rewards whatever keeps people scrolling, whatever keeps the machine running. And that's the part a lot of us don't see. You're not just feeding an audience. You're feeding a system that doesn't care about your well-being, your peace, or your sanity. And this is a big reason why so many people today are pushing back against all of it. I mean, you can really feel it. People don't want to be constantly watched anymore. People don't want to perform their lives 24/7. People are tired of being on all the time. A lot of us are already on, just trying to survive every day. Work.
They need a break. They need a break, man. They need to unplug.
Most people barely have enough energy for themselves, let alone an audience. A lot of us have hit a limit.
Imagine if you got kids and a family too, and you're trying to keep your head above water and trying to make ends meet during this time, bro. Like the mental toll that you're probably taking, just trying to make sure that you're like, I don't know, man. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
A point where the noise, the stimulation, the pressure just doesn't feel good anymore.
You want to stay positive. You want to stay positive.
Social media. You see it in how people date. You see it in how people talk to each other. There's a slow collective turn happening. It's almost like people are pulling back from the dysfunction they used to be attracted to. And that's exactly the space Kendrick was speaking from. This actually reminds me of something Jack Harlow said a few years ago. He talked about how being famous makes people feel entitled to your private life. And Jack used this example of, people wanting access to everything. He said he doesn't want people knowing what his day looks like. Doesn't want...
That's crazy too, because I remember before he blew up, man, I was like, literally, I had just found him, I think on YouTube, probably like when he was semi blowing up. So he was getting like a couple 100,000 views. I was like, yo, this dude is so dope, before he like went complete mainstream. And I thought he was such an authentic dude. I was like, when he started to blow up, I was like, he's probably not gonna like this. You know what I'm saying? Because he seemed like that's the type of guy that likes to not necessarily be in the limelight, but he's handled himself very well. And I think he's he definitely has a valuable presence in our industry right now, because he's an awesome rapper, bro.
People inside his room.
One of my favorites,
meaning
to be
the
honest.
Intimate parts of his life, and quite literally his room. He doesn't want people to know who he's dating, because once you give enough,
I'm on a tab, but that synthetic, bro. That synthetic sundial, 24 minutes to the synthetic. Dog, I know y'all remember that.
And the way he handled it was simple. Cut off access.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know what my 24 hours are like. I don't want you to see the inside of my room. I don't want you to see. I want that for me. I don't want you to know who I'm dating. I don't want you to know this and that. I want something for me. Because if you do enough, they'll take it all from you. It's all for them if you give them enough. So that's one thing I've learned, is cut off some access.
Now, most of us aren't famous, and you don't have to be to understand or relate. A lot of people feel the same exact pressure in their regular lives. I mean, if you have one of these devices right here, that means that practically...
I'm so glad he like realized that early on in his career, because that allowed him, and even now he's still building a great foundation. I think it also opens more doors for you as well, because with a cleaner name, in a way, in the industry, you can be affiliated with a lot more people. It's just how it works.
Device has access to you, and you're supposed to perform, update, respond, explain, entertain all the time. What Jack said wasn't really about fame. It was about the human need to protect yourself, to have something that's yours, to not feel like the world owns every piece of you. And that's the same energy Kendrick was talking about. Now, when we talk about Kendrick specifically, he's in a different position, obviously. He's famous. His visibility is very global. The pressure is different. The expectations hit harder. But I don't think this line is just about him. It's about all of us living in a time where being seen comes with a cost. And the question always becomes, What exactly is that cost? Then I'll never forget. If you want to...
That's a good question though. Like, what is that cost? I think the cost is really just your morality. You going against what you know to be correct, what you know in your heart to be the right thing to do. It's that simple.
To succeed in this game, you can't control everything. You have to surrender to your pain, meaning you can't keep trying to manage every single version of yourself people see inside their head. At some point, you have to stop performing and just be. And Kendrick talked about something that's related a few years ago in a completely different way. He talked about being a vessel, not just as an artist, but as someone who feels like his flaws, his pain, his honesty, all of it flows through him so other people can learn from it. He said,
bro, Keem is so tall, bro.
They come through him.
I mean, we are spiritual beings, and that's something I can't never run from. And
or Kendrick is just short. I can't really say too much. I'm only like 5'10", bro.
To show my pain,
like 5'11",
to show my hurt, to share my story.
and a half.
These words, these are ideas that's coming way beyond me.
So when you listen to what he said, the more visible you get, the more your spiritual is tried. You realize he's not exaggerating. He's speaking from experience, from the weight of being watched, judged, analyzed, consumed every single day. And even if we're nowhere near that level of visibility, a lot of people felt a version of that in 2025. This year, so many people hit a level of exhaustion we haven't felt in a long time.
Dude,
the world
for
shifted
real.
in ways we didn't fully notice while it was happening. Things feel more fleeting. People feel more fleeting. Everything we thought was solid suddenly feels temporary. A lot of us chase things we were sure would fulfill us. Success, validation, attention, relationships, material goals. And then we got them and realized they weren't actually carrying us forward. They weren't feeding us. They weren't aligning with who we were becoming. A lot of us had moments where we looked at things that we wanted really badly in the past and we just quietly admitted to ourselves, this right here is not going to take me to where I'm trying to go. And that realization obviously hurts because it means the past version of you can't survive the future you're stepping into. One of the best descriptions of what so many people felt in 2025 actually came from Erykah Badu last year. She talked about that moment in life when you're evolving, but also realizing you have to let go of the version of yourself that can take you forward. The version that feels familiar but doesn't serve you anymore.
Realizing that I had to leave some things behind, some parts of me behind. So it felt like a funeral of sorts because you have part of you has to die. Every time you evolve, you got to leave it back there. You know, you want it because it's familiar a lot of times.
Erykah Badu is a beautiful woman. I'm just going to throw it out there.
We like to resort to the familiar, even if it's toxic.
She described that emotional funeral we all go through, that painful moment when you know a part of your old self has to be left behind. Not because it was bad, but because it just can't carry you into the next season of your life. And that's where this whole idea of transformation starts to make sense. I see it almost like a metamorphosis, a caterpillar starting as an egg, moving through every stage, reshaping and eventually becoming a butterfly. Nature shows us that every version of us has seasons, and some seasons have to end for the next one to begin. And Kendrick taps into that same energy too. In the second verse, he says, "I see a new earth, filled with beautiful people making humanity work." Now, the phrase new earth is mostly connected to the Bible. Kendrick has always been open about his faith. He's a Christian, baptized at the age of 16 and again at 20. But outside of that context, New Earth has taken on a much broader meaning today. For a lot of people, it's not about religion at all. It's simply a way to describe the feeling that life is changing. The world we knew even 5 years ago doesn't feel the same. And whether it's relationships, technology, culture, or our own personal growth, you can feel that we as humans have changed too. And maybe that's why the party feels like it's dying. Not because things fell apart, but because we outgrew the version of ourselves that kept showing up there. 2025 was the year the noise stopped being entertaining. People didn't walk away from the party because it ended. They walked away because they were tired of losing themselves in the crowd. And that's the real point Kendrick was making. Or so I think. That's my interpretation. The party wasn't just
That's a great way to put it.
Or the industry. It was us. The version of ourselves we kept dragging from year to year, even when we knew it wasn't taking us anywhere. And maybe the reason why it feels like everything is ending is because something new is finally beginning. If you made it this far, drop a like, because this was obviously a very stimulating conversation.
Absolutely.
Till the end. And yeah, it looks...
Appreciate you, Black man. Once again, a great video. Antonio and Black are some of my favorite YouTubers when it comes to a lot of these topics. So I'm always going to be referencing their videos because they articulate themselves very well. And usually what they're saying aligns with how I feel most of the time. If it doesn't, great. I won't react to the video, but usually it does. So we're reacting to this one. Again, Kendrick was right. The party is dying. What do y'all think, man? If y'all could put in the comments right now, do y'all think that the party is dying? Are y'all collectively feeling the change and the shift in the world? And it's not just in America, it's on a global scale. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a beautiful thing. And I'm hoping that as time continues to progress, it brings people closer. It brings us as a humanity closer together, more than it ever has before. And I think there is potential here for it to happen. So just do your part, man. Just do your part. Be the best person that you could possibly be, so that when people run into you, when you run into somebody, you can give that advice, or, you know what I'm saying? You can be that person that someone needs at that time. So I really appreciate y'all for making it to the end of the video. Again, shout out Blackie Speaks. My name is Casual Reacts. I'll see y'all in the next video. What did I say? I'll see y'all in the next video. All right.